Hello everyone. Today I'll be discussing some key aspects of Southeast Asian politics that we've studied so far. We all know that Southeast Asia is a region rich in diversity, both culturally and politically, with many different systems of governance, economic strategies, and social cultures. I'll focus on five major topics, namely the role of authoritarianism, the importance of regional organizations like ASEAN, the influence of foreign powers, democracy challenges, and lastly, economic growth. Guys, let's dive right into it. First, authoritarianism in Southeast Asia. In many Southeast Asian countries, authoritarian regimes remains a significant feature of the political landscape. Countries like Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia are led by one-party systems that control the political process tightly. While these governments claim stability and economic growth as their achievements, critics argue that this comes at the cost of individual freedoms and political pluralism. A key example is Cambodia, where the prime minister, who is Hun Sen, has ruled over for 3 decades, suppressing opposition and consolidating power. His regime has faced international criticism for curbing civil liberties, but he has remained controlled through patronage networks and economic ties with China. While authoritarianism in these countries has led to a relative stability and impressive economic growth in some cases, it often stifles political freedoms and social progress. The trade off between stability and democracy remains a central debate in Southeast Asian politics. Second major topic is ASEAN and regional cooperation. ASEAN, or also known as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, is a regional organization that aims to promote political and economic cooperation among its 10 member states. However, ASEAN's role in addressing political crisis has been criticized for its policy of non interference. A prime example is the situation in Myanmar, where the military junta overthrew the democratically elected government in 2021. Despite the widespread of condemnation, ASEAN's response was muted, largely due to its principle of non-interference in member states' internal affairs. This has led to criticism about ASEAN's inability to effectively address regional conflicts. While ASEAN has succeeded in promoting economic cooperation and regional stability in some areas, its reluctance to take a strong stance on political issues like Myanmar highlights the limitations of the organization's political power. This raises important questions about how ASEAN can balance its core values with the need to address human rights and democracy issues within its member states. Third up is the influence of foreign powers. Southeast Asia is also a region where foreign powers, particularly China and the United States, have significant geopolitical interests. China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, has invested heavily in infrastructure projects in Southeast Asia, including ports, railways, and roads. While these investments boost economic development, they also raise concerns about increasing Chinese influence and the potential for detrap diplomacy. For instance, Sri Lanka has led to lease the Hambantota port to China after failing to repay loans, leading some Southeast Asian countries to fear a similar fate. Just like how the Philippines fear that China might take over the Scarborough Shoal or the West Philippine Sea. The growing presence of China in Southeast Asia challenges the traditional influence of Western powers, particularly the United States. The region is caught in geopolitical struggle, and countries must navigate the delicate balance of accepting a foreign investment without compromising their sovereignty. Fourth is the struggle for democracy. We all know that democracy in Southeast Asia has been a fragile concept, with many countries experiencing backslides or struggles in consolidating democratic systems. A notable example is Thailand, where multiple coups have been interrupted, interrupted democratic rule. Despite holding elections, the military continues to hold significant power, and the monarchy influence over governance remains strong. The military backed government, led by the Prime Minister Prayut Chan Ocha, has faced protests and demands for democratic reforms, yet the military's influence remained entrenched. So this raises questions about the nature of democracy in Southeast Asia. Can democratic institutions take root in the region with such a strong history of military involvement in politics? And how can popular movements push for democracy in systems where military influence is so pervasive? Lastly, we have its economic growth or we have its economic growth and challenges. So, Southeast Asia has experienced remarkable economic growth in recent decades. While countries like Singapore, Indonesia, and Vietnam seeing significant improvements in living standards, trade, and foreign investments. However, economic inequality remains a pressing issue in countries like the Philippines and Indonesia. Despite economic progress, poverty levels remain high and income inequality is widening. So, given all in all, there are a lot of problems in the politics and governance of Southeast Asia. Main problem is that most of the countries in Southeast Asia has a fucked up, I'm sorry, has a troublesome government. We can never ratify or overhaul the government in each country or even in our country alone, the Philippines. In order for us to make a better government, it all starts with ourselves. So, being a civilian or being a member of the state of the Philippines, I encourage you guys, please don't be blind on what's happening around you. That's all. Thank you.